Work hard for what you want in life.
You work hard for what you want in life.
That your word is your bond, that you do what you say you're going to do.
That your word is your bond, and you do what you say.
That you treat people with dignity and respect.
That you treat people with respect.
Reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard.
The strength of your dreams and your willingness to work for them.
Work hard.
Work hard.
Work hard. Work hard. Work hard.
Hey guys, I'm Tatum.
And it's your girl Milan.
And welcome to episode 37 of the Black Girl Boss Podcast.
Hey, Millie Brock, Indie Block, hey.
Yeah, so we're doing this episode live since Milan done fired her boss. She can now join me and do things in person a lot more. So definitely follow us on Instagram, y'all, at Black Girl Bosses, so y'all can catch us as we record our episodes live. So before we get into today's episode, I want to talk about the new Starbucks CEO. So we posted this on our Instagram page as a little Black Girl Boss News. Mm-hmm. But I just want to shout her out for the new Starbucks COO, Rosalind Brewer. And she is the first woman, she's a Black woman, to hold the position.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read a little bit of the press release and then we can talk about it. So former Sam's Club executive Rosalind Brewer has been named the new Chief Operating Officer and Group President of Starbucks, the company announced this past Wednesday. Brewer is the first woman and African American to hold the position. Brewer joined Starbucks in March as part of the 14-member board. What did they say?
Member of the board.
As a part of the 14-member.
That's a typo. March as part of the 14th member
of the board. It's a typo. I could read. It's a typo.
Yeah, because it's going to be of the.
Yeah. But she served in several executive leadership positions at Walmart and is the former Sam's Club CEO and president, where she became the first woman and African American to lead a division of the Walmart brand.
She need a yes.
For real, though. For real. And she has been recognized as one of the most powerful women in the world on several occasions. She was named by Forbes as one of the world's 100 most powerful women in 2016. And she was also named one of the most powerful women in 2014 and 2015 and 2016. First of all, whoever wrote this, for who?
Forbes.
No, but they say she was named Forbes as one of the world's 100 most powerful women. And then she said she was also named one of the most powerful women. For who, though? This person, y'all, if y'all are publicists or writers, can y'all edit y'all stuff before? This person needs to be fired. But anyway, shout out to her, this Black girl boss. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to be a boss. So shout out to her for just being Black and excellent.
Yes, and that's my soror. So go off soror.
Yeah, so shout out to her. So today, you guys, so I also wanted to shout somebody else out. So we always talk about our experiences, a lot of times negative, with things that we encounter when it comes to entrepreneurship. But I wanted to shout out this hairstylist. So I went to her for the first time. Her Instagram is HairBuzzDMV. So follow her and go see her, y'all, if you're in the DC area. She's affordable. She does an excellent job. She was super dope. I had like a little hair emergency to where I ordered some bundles from this hair company I always use, but they're in Houston. So because of Harvey, I couldn't get my hair in time.
Right.
So they were nice enough to refund me my money. So I went to somebody local and got the hair. But because I had to pick up my hair in person, I missed my hair appointment with the person I was going to originally. So I found her on Instagram. And you know how people have their phone numbers connected on Instagram. So I just called her and I was
hey, girl.
She was like, hello. I was like, hey, I know this is unprecedented. I'm so sorry for just calling you like this, but I'm in need of a hair appointment. Are you available tomorrow? This was the day before. I called her midday. So she said, yeah, when do you want to come? I was like, as early as possible. So she took me at 9 a.m. the next day. She was on time. She was super nice. She had a salon suite. She shared with another stylist, but everybody was nice. We in there talking about power. It was a good time. I was done in 2 hours.
Hello.
In and out. So shout out to her. She did a great job. If y'all want to see my hair, you can go on her Instagram or my Instagram or our live because y'all can see me right now. But the weave, honey, is laid. It's flat. It's dope. So shout out to her for just being an awesome Black girl boss and for just giving me a great experience. So I wanted to shout her out publicly for that.
Yes, I haven't worn a weave in 2 years, and looking at Taylor's, I'm like, I need to give me a weave.
Cause I cannot. I told y'all some episodes ago, dealing with my hair is just too much. It's just too much. Being natural is a lot of work. Yeah. I can't.
Y'all see on live what I got in my hair right now. It's the wet, slicky
See, I told you got good, manageable, natural hair. Mine is just nappy as hell. Like, it's just so, I mean, you know, shout out to how it grow out your hair, but it's nappy. That's just a fact. It takes work, and I don't be trying to do that.
Yeah, it do take a lot of work. I could do wash and goes, braid outs, but that's a lot that I just don't want to do. So
at all.
This one works for me.
I'd rather just pay somebody else the money, y'all do it, and I just
and just rock out.
I stick to what I do, you stick to what you do. Hair is not my ministry, and I'm not trying to learn. So yeah. All right, so today let's talk about, but before we get to branding, let's talk about you.
Okay.
So we talked about me some months ago when I left my job, but I want to talk about how you're enjoying this self-employed life. What did you do before you prepared? What is life like on the dark side for you? Like
on the dark side?
Yes, let's talk about it.
Being self-employed is definitely different. Like, it's different when you go to sleep at night because you feel like you're supposed to like get up so early, like you're going to a 9 to 5. So it's like, oh, I gotta get up and sit in traffic, and that feeling is there, but you don't have to do it. Yeah. So no longer doing it is kind of like, okay, cool, but then I gotta really press myself in the morning to get up. Like, I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock with Tatum. Like, that's
5 a.m. rise and grind. Let's go.
That's just not what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not about to get up with Tatum at 5 o'clock in the morning. But what I have done, I get up at 8. And I set a schedule. So 8 to 9, I get up, I look through my emails, I check any DMs that I may have that are concerning business, just so I can see them, so I know at 12 o'clock is email time when I reply. Because everybody's on lunch break at this point in time. If they sent you something on lunch break, they, you know, checking their emails, they sitting there eating, whatever they're doing, they're looking at their phone or whatever. So that's my time to reply. But from 8 to 9, I'm doing that. Then 9 to 10, I cook breakfast, I do in-home workouts. What did I do? Reading my Bible, take a shower. Then that 10 to 12 time frame, I'm working on one client, something. Whatever the client is or whatever it is, I'm working on that for that time frame. And then, like I said, 12 o'clock, you check your email. So it's like a 12 to 1 time frame. And then I haven't really gotten to my second part of the day yet on how that works. So I just kind of do anything that needs to be done. So I work from technically 10 to 7. Okay. With like phone calls and things like that. So if I have a phone call in that time frame, then that plays into play. But yeah, so 10 to 7 is my technical business hours of operation. So I've gotten to that. So that's kind of cool, that transition. I don't know. I don't think it fully hit me yet. I think I'm still like stuck. I feel like it's like a weekend. Like I'm just on weekends. Yeah, like I have
like a vacation.
Yeah, it's like a vacation. I don't think that I had realized, like, I think it's because I have one more check. Okay. Coming in, and this is my last check. So maybe after I see that this is the last,
when it ain't coming no more,
I think if I see this last check, it's gonna hit me. But as of right now, no, it's not. It doesn't. It feels good. It definitely feels good. Like waking up and just working on what you want to work on. That's definitely a great feeling. But I don't think the full like, nigga, you ain't got no 2-week check coming in.
The pressure necessarily.
The pressure, yeah. But I do kind of feel the pressure though, honestly, because I'm like, I see my contracts with some of my 6-month clients coming to an end. Okay. So I do feel the pressure of like, okay, these discovery calls gotta land. Like you gotta stick them. Well, it's not really us that gotta stick them. The clients gotta be willing to pay the price. Like, cause you know, they were like, close them. Yeah, you gotta close them. But if you tell them a price and they not rocking with it, that's when it gets kind of hard. Because you got them there and like you ask, you have any more questions? Like you handle everything. Everything was perfect. So in your mind, you're like, okay, cool. You send them the price. Well, right now I really can't afford that. Now you kind of like, okay. So that's been probably one of the tougher things that's been happening. But prior to leaving the 9 to 5 and everything, I stopped getting my hair done a lot. I think I said that though.
Yeah, you did.
I said that before. Like January came around and I don't know what took over me, but I'm like, I'm getting my hair done probably every 3 months, or if I have an event I have to go to, I'll get it done, or whatever the case may be, I'll do it. But other than that, I haven't been getting it done. Now that I got a wig,
Yes, wig.
I'm definitely not getting it done. If it's an event coming up, I'm going to slick this bun back and slip that wig over. And I already done wore the wig with the bun in my head, so I know how it look. So I know it's flat, so I can get away with that. So it's cool. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing that. And then I don't get my nails done as often.
Oh, girl.
Anymore. It's like a once a month thing.
That's pop them off, though.
And on that coming off, they stuck. They just look crazy. But I'm getting them done next week for my birthday.
Yeah, do that, please.
So, I would say basically, I mean, but that was something that I had to do because I was getting my nails done every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So between my nails and my toes, getting a polish, changing my nails done, that was like $60-some every 2 weeks. Plus your hair every 2 weeks. So I had to like chop and screw it. So I cut all of that out. I started prioritizing and planning better. So that was like my preparation. And then just mentally talking to myself and praying more because I'm like, God, I need you in this fully. Like, I don't want it if it's not with you. So I had to like really get my life together. So I'm like transitioning. It's still transition because it's only been 2 weeks? 2 weeks and like 3 days.
Yeah.
So,
but it's good to talk about it in these stages though. Because once you get to a certain point, you start forgetting, like, because I think now, I would just be forgetting stuff. I'm like, if I want to go somewhere, I just get up and go, and I'm like, oh no, people are like in traffic right now, so I'm about to stay in the house because this is when the work people are getting off. Or like, I don't want to go to the grocery store on a Sunday, days where people in the store. I want to go to the store midday on like a Monday when you're at work, so I ain't gotta deal with you.
That's true.
So when you get used to that type of thing, kind of having the luxury of your time back when you don't have a job, you forget how you're feeling right now. So it's kind of good to acknowledge those feelings now and appreciate where you are, because you can just still remember how you felt at a job. And then our listeners can kind of hear us too. They've heard us when we was thick in a job. The end was not coming no time soon. They've heard us, talk about wanting to leave. They've heard us saying, I submitted my notice. And now they hear us being self-employed. So it's good for us to talk about these things. So for those people who this is something they aspire to do, they kind of get like a real taste of what it's like.
I will tell y'all something that is funny though. So I left my job on a Tuesday. Thursday I was in New York for a client event. Friday I came back here to the DMV. Saturday I left again to go to Charlotte, and I just got back from Charlotte this Tuesday.
So you ain't even really had time to like have cabin fever, let's say, because you've been traveling for client stuff. But I'm glad you brought that up. So because you're busy as far as actually doing the work for your clients, when do you work on your business, doing the things that's going to get you more clients and make you more money?
Y'all, okay. And this is not changed. It's not going to change. And Tisha's going to kill me because I'm not kind to myself with naps and stuff. But I work on that stuff literally probably from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning.
8 p.m.?
Yes, to 4 a.m. But that's because I'm a night owl. I'm up. Like, I can't go to sleep because my mind be like, okay, no, this got to get done, this got to get done. So I just start working on the company. But while I was in Charlotte, though, I revamped the website. So that was like one of my goals, to get the website done. And it took time because now each of the divisions under the company has its own personal landing page. So that happened. Then I developed a page for the Publishing Your Pocket program, so people can see that. So I developed different things on the website. So that was like one of my goals. And then luckily I had my interns, and they're doing the social media cleanup. They've been doing that for the last 3 weeks. So that was like, so it helps to have them around. And like I said, during that time frame at night, maybe so 4 o'clock in the morning, or I may fall asleep, I don't know, whatever, but 8 to whatever time I'm working on the company.
Okay.
But that's time, but I like that time though because it's quiet. I don't have clients calling my phone. I don't have, people texting me. It's just quiet. So I prefer that anyway.
Yeah, and I think that that's a good thing for you to recognize for y'all that's listening is, when do you work best? She's a night owl, so working on her business is better throughout the middle of the night, because then she's able to get things done. I'm a morning person. So me waking up at 5 a.m. is the best time for me to get my things done. You know what I mean? Why are you looking like that? Nope. People always be questioning me about this 5 a.m. But I like to wake up early because I like my day. I do more work from 5 a.m. to maybe like noon than most people do in like 2 days. Because it's so easy for me to just get things done early in the morning.
It's so 2:59 and you've been up since 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and when we're done here, I'm probably gonna stay here and keep working, and then I'm gonna wake up at 5 tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm gonna still wake up at 5 tomorrow though, because look, the end of the year is coming. I got things to do. What? I got the certification out the way. This book needs to be done, so that means I'm about to be in here typing my life away.
That's why y'all go here.
For real, I'm gonna be up tomorrow typing my life away, and then I have fitness goals. And to be honest, that's what I struggle with the most is the fitness stuff because I don't like it. I like to eat and I don't like to work out. That's a combination for disaster.
It's a young lady on YouTube. Hold on, y'all. I gotta find it because it's literally like a 14-minute workout, but people say they see results like within the first week.
I'm gonna check her out because what I kind of created like a little hack. So when I'm at the gym, I watch official
Kaboko.
Okay, yeah, send me that link when we done because I'm gonna look her up. But what I do now is in the gym on the elliptical is when I watch like my ratchet shows. So I watch Love and Hip Hop on the elliptical. So then at least I'm tuned in for like a good hour. I'm on that thing pushing, watching Zell Swag jump across the table.
He said, "Look at this. Yes, me a petting zoo. Oh, what kind of animal am I? A Tasmanian devil? I have never seen somebody jump across something so fast, but then race it. And he's a publicist.
Yeah,
he's from here. He is.
But yeah, so on the elliptical is when I get that done. But I do feel better when I work out in the morning.
Right.
But yeah, I get a lot of work done in the morning. I'm a morning person. But then when normal hours come around, that's when I got 50-11 emails, this, that, and the other. But the reason why I'm really up and on my schedule seriously now is just because the end of the year is coming up. Like I said, I got a fitness goal. Here's where preparation comes in again.
Yeah.
If next year I'm saying that I want to do 50 million freaking speaking engagements, if I'm going to be on stage in front of a bunch of people, I want to look my best, and a part of that is getting to these goals. So that's something I got to work on. Or if I say I want to have this book out, I got to write the daggone thing. So that means I need to be up. And my brain operates the best in the morning. I'm not a night person. My brain cuts off at probably about like 9 o'clock. Don't ask me anything that requires me to think after 9 o'clock because it's not happening. So that's a part of just knowing myself and knowing when I work the best. And so that's something that you guys have to think about if you're thinking about becoming self-employed or you're trying to make that transition. So emotionally, what was that last day of work like?
I was annoyed.
Okay. See, I wanted you to be like, I felt so free. It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Here you go. I was annoyed.
I was annoyed because, like, I was excited. Don't get me wrong, to leave. Like, I wasn't mad, but I was annoyed because of how everybody was acting. They were acting stupid. Legit. So I'm like telling everybody goodbye and I'm hugging people and oh my God, you're leaving, whatever. So my chief deputy director comes out and she's like, oh, Milan, you're out of here. I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, yeah, where's your badge? What? Here, it's right. Like, it was just how she said it. Yeah. Like, you didn't come out and try to hug me first and then say, don't forget to leave your badge, or, when you're ready to leave out, bring your badge past. It was like, oh, Milan, you're leaving already? Oh, okay. Where's your badge?
Yeah.
Here.
I told you that when I left, the managing partner of my job was just kind of like, because, again, I was the type, before I send a 2-week notice, I'm going to talk to you first.
Right.
Like, that's just how I am. So I did send in my notice after talking to my boss. So I went to talk to him and he was just like, oh yeah, like he just didn't want to be bothered with me. He kind of was looking at me like, why are you in my office? Bye type thing. And then he was like, well, what did you say you were doing again? I was like, oh, I'm entrepreneur. I never tell. I keep that to myself when it came to work. Like what I do specifically is none of their business. I will always downplay it like, oh, I have a youth program. Like I never talked about details. But I was like, yeah, I'm working for myself now. And he was like, aren't you a little young for that? I said, well, age doesn't equate wisdom. And they got up and walked out.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah, like,
but you can't expect them to be happy for you when you leave him. But, that discourages a lot of people, though. Because it does take a level of mental toughness to make that type of decision and actually see it through. So a lot of people, you want people to cheer you on, like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And you're leaving and everybody's smiling and clapping as you're walking out the door. And that's just not what it is. They don't care about you. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to be there, because they don't care about you, for real.
Yeah, that was the question. Like, oh, what are you doing next? Oh, you got a job somewhere else, or this and the third. And I told this one lady, I said, no, I'm going full time with my business. And she was like, oh, well, I hope you have a plan B. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my plan B is in 2 degrees that I got that I'm making use of. Yeah, this was plan B. Yeah, and it failed. I hated it. Mm-hmm. I have my plan A, which is what I'm going to now. Mm-hmm. I utilized plan B. I went backwards. Plan B, then A. I was so like, shut up. Like, they used to get on my, you know how I felt in there. I always had an attitude. My attitude was not cute. Mm-hmm. I mean, people, they could tell, but they couldn't tell. Because I'm very good at like, not sheltering it, but downplaying my attitude. Mm-hmm. But you gonna know I have one. And you gonna know to leave me alone and let me sit at this desk and answer these phones. So, yeah.
So, do you plan your days the night before now? Mm-hmm.
Good, yeah. I plan them out. I put them in my notes.
Yeah, that's helped me a lot. Planning my day at night. Like, all right, what I got to do tomorrow? But I'll get to this when we talk about Eric Thomas's event. But just really narrowing down, like, my goals for the end of the year and working backwards has helped me a lot, too. Yeah. But, yeah, creating a routine helps. But I'm the type where I can't have a routine too long. Mm-hmm. So, like, after a few days of doing the same thing, it's time to switch it up. I don't want to do this no more. Like, I need something different, you know, a change of scenery or whatever. But, yeah, planning your next day, the day before, saves so much time. Yeah. So that's just a little, like, productivity tip for y'all that are listening. So you gotta, let's take a break so that you can go put some money on the meter. Car, y'all. And then when you get back, we'll talk about some branding stuff and answer the questions of those that's on the live. Okay, and we're back. So let's talk about branding, y'all. Milan texted me the other day and was like, it was early too. I was surprised to see her text me that early, and she was like, hop on to such and such as live. And I was like, I don't follow this person, so I don't know. So I got on there and they were just like, somebody made them upset. And they were very obviously upset. And let's just leave that there. But that made me think about, you know, the importance of developing what your brand is early. Mm-hmm. Because me and Tish were actually talking about this on the way to Baltimore the other day. And I was telling her about our call that we had and the ideas you were giving me and stuff like that. And, you know, I was saying like things that I will do and things that I won't do. So like one thing you said about social media was like the entertainment factor is important. And so I was telling Tish, I was like, I understand the concept of it, but I'm not an entertainer. So to make that work with my brand, my version of entertainment has to be inspiration because that aligns with my brand. Right. And then something else you had said, talking about current events, how that's important for engagement and things like that. So the same thing, that certain part of current events I can't talk about. You know, you're an entertainment publicist, so Rob and China stuff is good for you. Right. For me,
you can talk about Trump.
I'm not even doing that. But, you know, certain things I'm not going to touch on or I won't touch on in a certain way because that doesn't align with my brand. Right. And but with this person, when we were watching their live, I didn't know them at all. So I was like looking at their page and stuff, and I'm like, what they're doing doesn't necessarily align with their brand. Now, if their brand was that, then I mean, it is what it is. Do you? But it didn't align. So it's important because a lot of people do ask us the question too, how do I know what to put on social media and what not to put on social media? So one of the things that you told me was, you know, letting people into your life more. And when me and Tish was just casually talking about it, you know, defining what aspects of your life are you going to let people into?
Not watching you shop.
Okay. But for me, certain things are off limits. My family is off limits. You know, I might post a picture with them. I might say I'm at a wedding. I might show y'all my grandparents or something if I'm out. But me being like, oh, me and my mom are hanging out and I'm on live while me and my mom eating dinner. Like, you know, I'm not doing all of that. That's when I'm fully present, spending time with the people when I'm just being myself. I'm not Tatum to me. I'm just Tatum. I'm spending time with my mother. I'm her daughter. I'm not this boss, whatever. It's just me in my relationship. I might show y'all like, if we cooking something, I might show the food process, but I'm not showing you the intimate details of my relationship, because that's my relationship and the details of that is nobody's business. But these are the things that you have to think about early on before the phone fell, before you even put yourself out there or start establishing your brand. Because the last thing that you should do is do all of this, just doing anything with your brand because you feel like you need to be out there. You're not being strategic. You're not thinking about it. But then you got to go back and be like, I'm tired of people asking me about my boyfriend. That don't have nothing to do with my business. Well, you put your boyfriend out there, even when it comes down to the tone. I curse. I'm getting better at it, but I've never been dropping F-bombs and B-words and everything like when it comes to business. That's not what I'm doing.
She was dropping all them F-bombs.
The girl on the live, not me, y'all.
Yeah, not Tatum.
But but it's a certain level of professionalism that my brand will always have. I can be transparent. I can be, let y'all into my life. I'm being myself. I'm not super proper all the time. But there will always be a level of professionalism, because at the end of the day, I'm a business coach. I'm a marketing professional. I'm a role model to the girls that I work with. So I will that is my brand. There's always a level of class and professionalism that will be upheld. Right. But people don't think this far ahead before putting the business out there. So I say all that to say, like, what do you think about the importance of developing that brand before starting your business, before putting it out there? And what are some ways that people can do that?
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. When you're doing a brand development, that's
people don't do that. It's I want to start a business, and then I put in my bio and I'm an entrepreneur now.
I'm just saying, I would just you asked the question, I said that's what you're supposed to do. So just let y'all know that's what you're supposed to do. But repeat the question for me. What's the second part? Since I did say that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, how can people do that? Like, what are some tips of developing that brand early on? Like, how can people not get beside themselves and just start doing anything?
But kind of what I told you the other day, setting that parallel. Who do you want to be mentioned next to? Like I said, not mock, mimic, or anything. Who do you want to? Everybody gets mentioned next to somebody, whether you like it or not. People want to say, okay, well, like media correspondents or people that are in media or talk show hosts or whatever. They're like, when people think of me, I want them to think of Oprah. But is Oprah doing this? Is Oprah doing that? Like, I think for our generation and millennials that we work with, and even older generations, the baby boomers, that's the best way and the most common way to really help people is to really have them think of that parallel, because those are people they look up to. Those are people that when they started their business, they had them in mind. And like I said, don't mock them, don't mimic them, don't copy their work, but think of how you want to be mentioned. You want to be mentioned next to Oprah. So did Oprah go to the strip club and post it? You see Oprah popping bottles every week? No, she doesn't. So look at the class of it. Look at the sound around it. Like, use your inside voice. If you use your inside voice, then you need to be talking like this at that level. So you need to really focus on parallels and creating that dynamic for your brand. And like I said, don't mimic, don't mock anybody. And it's very easy to do. Just think of the mention.
And when you said that, of course, we had this conversation. When I was talking to Tish about it, it was like, because you had asked me, for y'all that don't know, I'm doing just some rebranding and restructuring, preparing for 2018, the personal brand goal that I had for 2018. So this is what Milan and I were talking about the other day. And so when you asked me that, I was like, I can't tell you anybody, because the way I think is way beyond the people that you may assume I will want my name mentioned next to.
And I'm glad you said that, because so when you create the parallel, it doesn't have to be somebody in your business. I told Tatum that. It doesn't have to be in your business. It doesn't have to be in the same lines. But like I said, next to for what they're doing. So I use Jay-Z for her because she loves Jay-Z. But what about Jay-Z do you love?
I love the fact about Jay-Z and Beyonce. What I love the fact about that, and this is, be quiet. What I love about them is just the level of excellence. Okay. You know what I mean? You're going to buy a Jay-Z album because it's Jay-Z. It's the level of excellence.
But what about that album would you buy? Why did you buy it?
Because he's great at what he does, period.
Okay, in what aspect though? Like,
if we're just talking about his talent, he's an excellent rapper. Okay. So that's why I will buy his albums, because I will get good music.
What do you like about the rap?
But his wordplay, the content, you know, the fact that he has substance, those are things that I like. And so what she's doing now, guys, is she's making me think deeper into what it is, because those things I can model. So I said he has substance. So when it comes back to my brand, I always have substance. I said he's excellent. It's great quality. So I make sure whatever I put out needs to be of excellence. It needs to be great quality. So that's why she's asking me these questions, for y'all that might think she's just badgering me. But
I'm not badgering her, no.
But that's how you have to think. And another thing I love about him, as far as he don't get involved in things that don't matter.
Yeah.
They're not at the BET Awards. That doesn't mean nothing to them. It mean anything to them. You know, and that's how I am. I'm not going to everybody's networking event because it doesn't mean anything. That doesn't have anything to do with the big picture for me, unless I'm like speaking or something. That has nothing to do with the big picture for me. Me having mimosas at this event put together by whoever to quote unquote network has nothing to do with the big picture for me. So that level of just groundedness that they have as well. Like, you don't see no pictures of they twins. It's some months old. You don't know what they look like. You see, I mean, you saw Beyonce's picture she posts with both of them, but you don't see like them every day. You know, and Jay-Z even said in his latest Rock Radar interview on Tidal, he was like, he pushed his tour back. His album came out some months ago. He pushed his tour to start in October so that he can spend that time with his kids. Regular people, your favorite rapper can't do that because they risk losing that momentum. Right. Jay-Z has established himself so much, he doesn't need that momentum. If he says, I'm not going on tour for 6 months, and you're going to buy his tickets for 6 months later. Beyonce can sell out a tour before putting the album out because you know that when you're going to go to her, you're going to get a show. So, but what happens with entrepreneurs, especially millennials, is we're looking at the such and such that has all of these expensive things on Instagram. We looking at I'm not going to put it out there because I don't want to downplay what anybody's doing, but we're looking at, I mean, I'm going to use myself as an example. You might be looking at me saying, I want to model what Tatum's doing, or I want to be like her. Don't want to be like me. Reach way past that. Because if you're shooting for 100% every single time, even if you get a 90, it's still an A. So you always have to just, when you're thinking about that brand, think about the big picture. You know what I mean? And even thinking about like certain people, like with me, sometimes the fact that I think so deep into things isn't always a good thing. But even with me, I don't want to pigeonhole my brand in any way. Like, there's certain people who they may cuss a lot on social media. They like super familiar. Like, they take the fact that they take down to earth to a whole new level. You know what I mean? Like, you saying like, you know, bitch, just yada yada yada. Like, why are you talking like that on your social media to your people? You know what I'm saying? That level of familiarity pigeonholes you, because let's say you are at a place in your business where you don't you may not necessarily can or don't want to work one-on-one with people anymore. You can't even take what you got to corporate or to these high-level organizations because it's too ratchet. You know, it's not appropriate for that level. Right. So again, y'all, when y'all are developing these brands, you have to think about these type of things.
Think appropriate.
Yeah, if I want to be hanging with Michelle Obama, sitting at a table with Oprah, Shonda Rhimes, Michelle Obama, but I'm acting like an Instagram thought, or I'm cussing people out online, I'm not holding myself to a certain level of class, that don't add up.
And that's when, again, that parallel comes in.
Yeah, make sure you're paralleling yourself to the right people.
That parallel goes all around. Like she said, if you want to sit next to Michelle Obama and you looking at yourself right now and you not meeting to be mentioned next to Michelle Obama, entering the room, Michelle Obama and such. Yeah. If you don't hear that,
why she hanging out with her?
Exactly. So if you want to be mentioned next to her walking in the room, then you need to look at Michelle Obama. How does she carry herself? Would that work with her? Would that work with the brand that she has? Is she going to have somebody acting like that around her brand that could destroy it? Absolutely not. So that parallel is very, very important when you are building a brand. Like Taylor said, I wasn't badgering her. I was trying to get you guys to hear it and how it sounds and the things that you're supposed to think of. Substance, the content. Like she said, Beyonce could do a whole tour before the album even comes out, but you're buying it because you know you're going to get the experience. You know that it has substance, and you know that you're going to be there talking about that concert 4 years from now, and that $300 ticket was worth it. But that's what you want to think of with your brand. Like if you tell somebody that that's the price, they know for a fact that price is that's it. Like I'm gonna pay that because I know that I'm about to walk out of here feeling like the next Rev Run, the next Oprah, whoever. I know my brand is going to sit on that level because I work with Taylor in her business program, having her as a business coach. You know, so that's just what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Look, I can't tell y'all nothing else besides that's what you're supposed to do.
And a perfect example of that is last year when I first got into my business coaching program. I was telling them on live this while we was on break. I couldn't necessarily afford it. You know, I was living by myself in Northern Virginia. It's expensive. I had to pay all my bills. Like, you know, I was single. I was telling them like being in a relationship is a money saving tool because they pay for everything. but you know, being single back then, everything was getting funded by me, so I could not afford it. So I had to humble myself and call my parents and ask them. So they was just like, all right, well, this is how much we put towards it. I was eating spaghetti a lot. I was eating PB&J a lot. And I even, not a lot of people know this, but I even like cleaned buildings for the extra money to do things that I needed to do. Like my parents own a commercial cleaning business. So I would go to work. I would get off work. I would go to the building, change my clothes, clean this building. Talk about humbling yourself. Cleaning a building.
That's like deep. That's disgusting. I didn't even know that, y'all. Cleaning
a building. You know what I'm saying? To get the money to invest in my business. Like that was humbling as I don't know what. Yeah. And then we'll go home, take a shower, work on my business some more, go to sleep, do the same thing the next day. Like you have to be able to make these type of sacrifices to get what you want. And I was telling them too, like, you know, waking up at 5 a.m., I like to sleep. I can sleep for days. I can sleep a long time. Like I can sleep.
Yeah.
But I want the things that I want. You know, I want this level of success that bad that I'm going to be up when I don't want to be up. You know what I mean?
And it's so funny because we're like the same but backwards. Like I don't want to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You know how 4 o'clock in the morning feel on your eyes?
No, because I'm asleep.
But you know
I'm getting ready to wake up.
But you know how I feel at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, facts.
The 4 o'clock feel in your eyes when you want to go to sleep is the 5 o'clock eyes when you want to stay asleep. They're the same type of eyes. But me saying I'm so forward because I want it that bad that I know that this is my time where me can work on she and get it done. Taylor's 5 o'clock in the morning, people still sleeping. They not blowing her phone up at 5 o'clock because they sleep. So it works. Like it works that way. So yeah, it's a certain level that you just gotta humble yourself to. You gotta be willing to take on, and you just gotta trust the process. If I don't say nothing else.
Hey, Jay-Z said it best, okay, since we talking about him, okay? People want to emulate the success and disregard the process.
Hello? That's true.
So even for me, like, if we bring this to a marketing standpoint, because at the end of the day, all of this that we doing on social media, like your brand online and stuff like that, it's marketing as well. The end goal is for people to engage with you, of course, but the end goal for real is money, like to get people to buy what you're selling. Yeah. So you have to think about that as well when you're building your brand, the consumer behavior. You know, what will make people invest in what you're doing? So the perfect example is one of my clients. So she wrote a blog about, I think Made in America. She wrote a blog about it and was kind of critiquing one of the services she offers is event planning. And so she was critiquing Made in America, saying what she liked about it, what she liked about the marketing, how much she loved the event and things like that. And so I haven't read it yet, so I don't know what it says, but I was telling her just in the future when you're creating content, you have to think past what you want to talk about. You have to think past what you like or how much of a good time you had. You have to think about what's going to make people spend money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What can you write about and how can you write it to people want to invest in you? You know, you have to position yourself as a thought leader. You have to position yourself as a solution to the pain point of your audience. That's what all of this goes back to. So when you're doing a live, and you're just talking, but you have no way to capture your audience after that, then what did you just do it for? Right. You know what I mean? And you have to plan these things out. So if I'm a business coach and I help people grow their business, me talking about certain things does not matter for people to invest in me as their coach. When I offer my marketing services, what matters is how successful the campaign I come up with is going to be. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I think about XYZ.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about what I think. That's what my friends are for. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk about what's going to help you be successful, because that's what makes you buy.
Yeah.
You know, so for you guys, again, that's developing your brand. Think about all the things that we talked about, but think about what influences your customer to buy, because you want to make money at the very end of the day.
It's called what? Buyer's persona?
Buyer's persona, consumer behavior, all of this is under the marketing umbrella. You know, you have to think about these things. And I learned some more strategies that I'm going to teach the people that I work with for marketing about how to get that knowledge. Because we've talked about surveys. We talked about, you know, studying your target audience in Facebook groups. But that's limiting in a sense to where it confines you to the audience that you've discovered. Right. But there are ways that you can actually get this type of intelligence where it's more broad. Mm-hmm. So you can get somebody that's let's say not necessarily in that Facebook group. You can attract them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a strategy that you can use to make your content be more clickable, more SEO friendly for the average person that's just Googling whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go into detail about that on the show because it's going to be a part of the service.
So you got to purchase it.
Got to pay for that one.
Ain't no more free, Randy.
Exactly. So that's what I want to talk about branding. So first of all, the perfect example of like great branding is Eric Thomas. Listen. Eric Thomas had an event called the Stay Ready Conference in DC last weekend. And the conference was $200 for general admission. It was maybe $400 for VIP. No breakout sessions. It was 3 other speakers and him. Mm-hmm. VIP, I think, got a little bit more personal time with the speakers and things like that. But the gist of the general conference, let's go with the lowest price ticket, the $200 ticket, was just literally the speakers. So in my mind, I'm like, I want to see what people are paying for. So I volunteered. So I didn't have to buy the ticket.
I know, that's right.
I volunteered and was at the registration table. So okay, it's because I was at the registration table, I kind of got to see how many people came in. So 86% of the people, we use the Eventbrite tools. That's how I know the statistics. 86% of the people who bought a ticket showed up.
Okay, that's
they made over 6 figures of this one event. And in my mind, I was like, okay. And it was so many people, like black, white, millennials. It was such a diverse crowd of people. And in my mind, and I'm a self-motivated person, so motivation is not necessarily something I'm going to pay for. So that's why I was trying to figure out, like, these people are seemingly only paying to be motivated.
That's it.
Why? You know, and not why to downplay them and what they do, but why as a business owner, you know, I want to know what is making people pay for that, because I can emulate that in my brand to influence that type of behavior. Yeah. And what else was interesting, it was a great event, by the way. It was awesome. What else was interesting is he talked about the various stages of being ready. It was the Stay Ready conference. He was saying that some people are in the not ready section of their lives, meaning that they don't have necessarily the willpower or discipline to get to where they want to go.
Right.
Some people are event ready, meaning you can lose the weight for your class reunion, you can lose the weight for your wedding, but you can't keep the weight off. You gain it all back. Right. Some people stay ready. So when we're talking about preparation, that's the stay ready phase. So he talked about, you know, what you can do to get to the next step. So interestingly enough, he told the people who needed to get from the event ready part to the stay ready part that now it's time for them to start investing in themselves, like investing in. And in my mind, I'm like, what is he going to sell? Like, what's the upsell? Because I can hear him prepping the audience for it. Because I'm listening, one, as a fan, but also as a business owner, you know, trying to see the strategy behind this certain things. And so I was like, but he didn't sell anything from the stage. So in my mind, I was like, but I know he has things like Breathe University. He has stuff that they can invest in. Yeah, but then after the conference was over, the main general one, the other people was like, you know, if you guys want to upgrade to VIP, you can right on the spot. So I'm like, I know they made more money after that because he prepped them to be ready to pay. Like, that's crazy. You know, I thought it was just an amazing strategy, just as far as how the event went to just prep people to get to that point. But even going back to not even the during the event, but getting back to my thought process of what made people go there in the first place. What made people pay $200 just to go there? And people, I was at the table, so people were asking like, well, how's the day going to go? They didn't even know what they were there for. Wow, they just knew that Eric Thomas was in DC having an event and I was going. And they paid that $200 and they showed up. Wow. So in my mind is, what is it? Sorry, y'all, I'm getting passionate. I done dropped my pen. So what is it about Eric Thomas that makes somebody want to pay $200 for something they don't know what they're paying for? And my conclusion was, they're invested in him. They have an emotional connection to him. Right. He puts out every single Monday. So here's consistency, guys. Every single Monday he puts out Thank God It's Monday videos. So they're watching these videos online. Yeah. Every single Thursday he has a podcast coming out. So they're getting, and the podcast is less motivational and more personal. So kind of like how we do. Right. People are able to get to know us through the podcast, but then they're able to see our expertise through our other marketing strategies. So people now are feeling like they know him because they're listening to the podcast every single week, you know, and then he's on Wingstop commercials. Like,
this is true.
He's doing he's putting out, all of this great content and this great brand that people are so invested in it that they're willing to pay $200 to get inspired. To get basically the same feeling they got for free. So it's like, when it comes to our brands, we have to do the same thing. And for us, you know, to me, because, you know, we do calls with people, free discovery calls with people. And so when we hear that excuse of, I don't have the money, you know, to me, that's BS. Like I was telling my client today, because she gets the objection a lot as well about people can't afford it. And she was even in the mindset of maybe saying like, oh, what can I change this so they can afford it? No. People pay for what they want to pay for.
Keep your price your price.
That's your price. When people talk to me and they say they can't afford me, I say, great. You know, when can I follow up with you? They get put into a little funnel that keeps them engaged or whatever. But that's that. When you can afford me, you can come back. And my price may be higher by then. You know, I'm going to keep improving, so my price is going to go up.
It's going to be SOL.
You can afford it, or you can't. I told you I clean buildings to pay for my business coach. You do what you have to do.
I had she's not a client, but she reached out to me last year, probably around November, around the same time, and she just recently hit me back up. Hey, I think I'm ready. Remember I had this package? I said, yeah, we no longer offer that. This is a service, and this is the new price. And she's like, wow, you changed that? That was quick. September. This has been almost 12 months. Like, that's not quick. And I'm just like, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, I'll have to follow back up with you because I'm not really sure now. Okay.
That's okay. You know what I mean? It's fine. But your price is your price is your price. So instead of adjusting your price, adjust your marketing, because it's a branding and marketing gap that makes them not think you're worth it. And that's harsh, but that's the truth. And that's something I tell myself all the time. Like, you telling me you can't afford it, what I hear is, what am I not doing to make you figure it out?
Yeah, make you feel like you can afford it.
That's it. Invest. Period. What am I not doing to make you figure it out?
Yeah.
And that's why I do these things. Like, you know, the end of the year is coming up. So I'm looking back on the business like, okay, I did great this year. So where can I improve? How can I beat myself so you can?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have this experience. I know I can help your business grow, but I'm going to get this certification just in case you thought that somebody else is better for you to go to.
That's all I'm saying, because I be seeing some publicists and they just be having that one old good old degree. And I'm like, I done got a strategic PR degree, honey. We strategic. Yeah. I got the skills to strategically plan your campaign.
Simple as that.
Look, you got it.
Simple as that.
I said what I said.
Simple as that. So that's how you guys have to think. And I know we kind of got off topic about, like, you know, rambling and stuff, but that's just how you have to think. And you have to constantly be figuring out how to outdo yourself.
Yeah.
Getting to know your audience continuously, still getting to know them, figuring out what you can adjust in your branding. You know, your audience, they over Snapchat now. Now they want to watch Instagram Live. You need to figure out Instagram Live and how you can do that for your audience. Your audience is getting older. They don't want to hear you cussing no more. You need to figure out how to mature that up some. You know what I mean? You talking about your opinion on stuff. They don't care about your opinion to pay. They want to know what's your expertise. What are they getting for their money?
Absolutely.
So yeah, you guys, these are some things that you have to think about before you start your business. And these are things you have to stay on top of during your business. So I'm done. You got anything else?
Y'all know what I say. You have to start with brand development first before you do any of this. Like, all this time to say it don't matter if you haven't got the tone. It don't matter if you haven't set your parallel. It don't matter. It doesn't matter if you haven't done your market research, your consumer research. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It just goes back to this is like point Z that Tatum just made. You gotta go to point A first. Some of y'all be trying to jump and fly and you haven't even learned to walk yet.
And I mean, I think that's normal though for new entrepreneurs. You get so excited that you're just like,
you did that?
You don't think too much.
You're a thinker, so I don't even think you did that. Like, I had to ask because you said it. I'm like,
but there are some things I wish I would have thought more about. But then when I think, it's no way I would have known. You know, some things you only gonna learn by doing. But one thing that I wish I would have thought more of, and I'm kind of backtracking on now, not necessarily backtracking, but I'm adjusting, is my business name. So when I started my business, I just knew that I wanted to work with teen girls. Yeah. So my business was called the Queen Academy.
But that's fine.
But now understanding, you know, growing into a coach and understanding that this is something I'm very good at. This is a service I offer. I'm an expert at this thing.
Yeah.
I have to go back and make the adjustments on the back end. Like, okay, the business name is going to be changed. The Queen Academy is never going anywhere, but my business is actually going to support the impact. It's the corporate social responsibility. The Queen Academy is the corporate social responsibility of the business, but not thinking about that starting off. But again, there's no way I could have known that back then.
I just love it.
What is wrong with you?
Because like coming from graduate school and learning about corporate social responsibility, it is the driving force to companies. So I was just really happy to hear that you say that, because I didn't realize how important it was. And so after going through like 2 different classes that kept bringing up corporate social responsibility. So if you guys don't know what that is, definitely check into it and see if you can implement it within your businesses, because it really affects your target audience and your public. They want to see what you're doing outside of just the regular services you offer. So for one, like with you management, one of ours is sustainability. So it's very, very rare that you will see me utilizing paper. You know, I'm here for the going green people. So if I have clients that like to go green, or, you know, I don't want to offend them by having too much paper, and it's convenient. So a lot of people like that my process is convenient. It's not a lot of paper. It's actually no paper. I think I have like 1 paper contract. Everything else is on the e-sign, you know, so I try to do that. But yeah, corporate social responsibility is big, and it's a driving force should be all businesses, big or small.
Yeah, and that goes back to knowing your target audience. My target audience is millennial women. Millennials are more inclined to purchase from a company that has some type of cause attached to it. That's what studies show. So I already have a cause. Like, my first business is a cause, you know, to help teen girls. So now as I'm rebranding and restructuring things that encompasses everything that I do, it's just putting it in the right place. That's all it is, putting it where it belongs. That's the social part of my business. Anybody that works with me, some of their money is going towards teen girls. I'm in a school working with them one-on-one. I get paid from the school, but they're going to need other things. Like, if I want to do an outing, and when we do outings, the Queen Academy outings ain't like regular. We not carpooling. We got a Sprinter pulling up, and we going to the games, and we, like, you know, that's what we do. I call said I need a Sprinter. I got 12 girls. We going to a basketball game, and I get the Sprinter, and we pay for it. But I want to show them certain things, because I need them to understand certain things are possible. You know, I need them to understand that they can have a Sprinter. You can ride in a Sprinter. You can be courtside at a game. You can do certain things so that they can, once they have that awareness, then they'll start to work for it. but I'm just exposing them to certain things. And a lot of things I want to expose them to cost money. And I'm not going to argue with no school on, as far as pricing goes, I'm not about to fight with them to give the girls what I want to give them. So if I got to pay for certain things, then that's just what's going to happen. If I want to pay for those certain add-ons, that's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, a part of my business is that. So when people pay for me, they know that that money is also going to these teen girls and helping build their self-esteem and build them up. So corporate social responsibility is important. And if any of you guys have or any of you guys' target audience includes millennials, do some research on people's buying decisions. Do some statistical research on people's buying decisions, because that needs to influence your marketing and your branding and all the stuff that we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
So I'm done ranting.
I ain't got nothing else.
All right, y'all. So next week, we're going to be doing a Q&A episode. So send us your questions. You can send us a DM on Instagram. We'll see it there. You can send it to us individually. Our Instagram, the Black Girl Boss Instagram is at blackgirlbosses. You can send us an email, blackgirlbosses@gmail.com. You can tweet us. We see those. Like, we real regular. We see everything. So get in touch with us. Y'all millennials, y'all know. Get in touch with us. Ask us any questions you want. And then next week, we'll do like a full Q&A episode, since we haven't done questions in a little bit.
And we'll be on IG Live.
Yes, we'll be on IG Live. So, yeah, that's it. So, see y'all next week.
Bye.